Folks, what's up? This is Michael in the wee hours of the dead of night on the graveyard shifts once again with your daily trivia question. Happy Sunday, folks. Keep it easy like Sunday morning. Keep it that way all day long. We've got all day long before we have to get back to the grind on Monday. So let's have a good day, and I hope you have some downtime for sure because you deserve it. Anywho, the answer to the previous trivia question was none other than Mr. John Gotti, who was a true American gangster and boss of the one and only Gambino crime family in New York City. This was real stuff, folks. It had its origins going all the way back to 1900. The Gambino crime family was one of a handful of so-called families that dominated organized crime activities in New York City, with crimes like racketeering, gambling, loan sharking, prostitution, you name it, murder, hijacking, you name it. It went on, folks, with this family for sure, and organized crime. Gotti would eventually order the murder of the family boss, whose name was Paul Castanado, or something to that effect. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Please forgive. Don't send the mob after me, okay? This was in December of 1985, and that's how he came to be. That's how he became the boss, if you will. And at his peak, Gotti was one of the most powerful and dangerous crime bosses in the United States. He rose to that unfortunate fame, known for his outspoken personality, flamboyant style, and crass attitude towards authorities. He gained significant favor with the general public. Usually when you have people like this who are kind of, in organized crime in a place like New York City in a time and era, that people actually began to like him. Okay, like I said, he gained significant favor with the general public, and he reportedly at his peak earned between $5 and $20 million annually. This guy was bringing in dough with all this illegal activity. Of course, that attracted the attention of law enforcement. So he would eventually be caught on multiple surveillance tapes and audio, which it was come to find out his every one of his places that he hung out ended up being bugged. And he was blatantly discussing the details of murder, ordered hits, frank admissions about his position as the head of the so-called Gambino family, and his own underboss on an eventual basis, whom Gotti had actually promoted himself, would eventually turn on him. He flipped. He sleeps with the fishes. He turned on him. He turned him in. Gotti's nickname was the Dapper Don for his expensive clothing and his flamboyant lifestyle, but most significantly, he went down in history being known as Teflon Don for his ability to tamper with and influence jury members to gain acquittals. During the 1980s, there was like 3 trials for Gotti, prosecutors trying to put him away, and he was acquitted on all of this stuff. Of course, he was messing with the jury, he's paying people off and so forth. Gotti would eventually be sentenced to life in prison in 1992. He would be beaten up by fellow inmates in the late 90s a few times, if my research serves me correctly. He was diagnosed with cancer in 1998, and he eventually died in prison. In 2002, at the young age of 61, he spent most of his incarceration in solitary confinement, which means you're basically locked in a cage for 23 hours and you're only out for 1 during the course of the day. There's a before and after picture of him. That's what prison life will do to you right there. And throat cancer, by the way. Gotti has been portrayed in 6 TV movies, 2 documentaries, and 3 theatrical films, and has been the subject of all kinds of songs in all different kind of musical categories. The most recent of which was a Netflix docudrama series starring John Travolta, which is pretty good if you get a chance to check it out. His former wife and his sons had a reality show. I don't even remember the name of it. It didn't last but a few seasons, but that's John Gotti for you right there in a nutshell. The Gambino crime family going to make you an offer that you can't refuse. All right, folks, let's ease into Sunday morning with a brand new trivia question. Here we go for April 3rd. Operating between St. Joseph, Missouri, and Sacramento, California, on this day in 1860, 3 owners of a freight business launched this service for the first time that operated along pioneer trails through 8 different states. Rest in peace, Taylor Hawkins. Have a good Sunday, folks.